Live. Blading chats with Brian Weis. Prova a vedere se va Maris. Sempre un po'. Ecco. So today we are going live with Brian Weis, blader from Detroit. I was like earlier. I was looking for some inspiration for settle down the question for this interview or chat, and I just realized that Detroit has like a lot of history in terms of competition, like there was like 2 IMYTA, Motor City Shakedown, Bitter Cold Showdown. So man, like Detroit looks like a cool place to kick it, huh? And I don't really know much about Detroit. I do really would like to go there maybe one day because the spots down there they look pretty cool. And there's like a lot of questions that I would like to ask to Brian, who's already here. But yeah, let's wait for other people to tune in for a couple of minutes and then we can start this thing. With Brian, we are going to talk today about. With Brian, we are going to talk about what is going on right now in Detroit, about the coronavirus, like if it affected like Brian's life in terms of job and stuff like that, and also how does it feel to growing up in a city within that story of like competition, just like I was mentioned earlier, the IMYTA, Bitter Cold Showdown, and all that. And of course, skating with the Duraza brothers, Don Bambrick, Brian Murphy. Could have been cool, pretty cool, huh? Grande Yari, tutto bene? Com'è andato il compleanno? Yesterday, the blading chat with Billy O'Neill was amazing. The thing he said about mind game, how he get into it and all that, it's crazy. And just like he was saying, if you haven't seen it yet, guys, please have a look on Leon Humphrey's Devotion latest edit. It was a VOD and right now it's free on YouTube and it's pretty cool and intense. Hope you guys can get it lasts 18 minutes or something. So they took John and Leon, they've spent 2 years in the making it. So all right. Oh, big announcement. We are going to have the chance to talk with Joe Navran next week. So I'm super hyped and stoked about that one. And this week we are going to talk with Patrick Reeder, Ivan Nares, Eugen Enin. So a bunch of people in this week. Quite happy. As well as in the next week we are going to talk with Erika Zanetti. She's the brand manager, I guess, or something manager about the Rollerblade, the company here in Italy. As well as we're going to talk with Judzy Carter, which is the Chris Heffy of the scooter world, and how, as I was saying, Joe Navran, the one and only, the guy, the man who made one of the most some of the most iconical blading videos that we all know, such as Project Mayhem, Elements. Oh really? Yeah, I met him here at the skate park where we used to go skating. So that's cool. Such a cool dude, right? I was saying about John Avron. He made videos such as Coup d'etat, Fruit Booter, Elements, and Amateur, and all that. And of course, one of my favorite, Future for All Blading. Hey, what's up, Leon? Yesterday we were talking with Billy about your devotion video, man. It's something else. really, really something else. It's like, man, you kill it. You kill it. So I would say that like there is already a bunch of people here, so maybe we can start this live stream with Brian, who is already connected. Quite excited about this one.
What's up,
Yo,
man?
what's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. What about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just slow start to the day today. Just kind of chilling.
Thank
How
you.
you
Thank you
doing?
so. Fine, fine. Thank you so much. I know it's quite early up there in Detroit, so thank
Yeah,
you so
1 o'clock, mid-afternoon.
much. Great.
College kid early.
Exactly, exactly. So everything's fine?
Yeah, man. I've been good. There was one kid that I grew up. I don't know if you ever heard of the video Second Coming.
Mm,
There was a kid in our area who filmed me kind of growing up. We lived near each other. His name is Alex Beaupre, but his dad actually passed away from the
no,
virus. It was
no
last week
way.
sometime. So that kind of brought it a little bit closer to home. You know what I mean? It's been all kind of just on the news and that kind
Huh.
of stuff, and then that happened, and yeah, it just brought it a little bit closer to home. But other than that, man, I'm healthy. Close family's healthy, so yeah, all good, man.
Oh, great, great to hear that. And so in Michigan, like because I've seen like a lot of different things through the U.S. What is right now the situation in Michigan and especially in Detroit?
Uh, It's been good here. We kind of had a large protest at the Capitol building. A lot of gun owners were up there. People were protesting the stay-at-home order. Um, I'm just gonna be real with you. I live in Detroit, so I live in kind of a lower income area, and people are still out here barbecuing.
Ah,
They're still.
damn.
I mean, just today there was a video. They have a Sunday Fun Day, and it's just where people barbecue and like kind of do donuts in their cars, and they're still getting together right now. And then everyone's getting together on the Capitol building, and it's just like,
Damn.
but everything I guess close to my community, I see people doing a lot of good, and yeah, I think that for the most part we're doing pretty good here.
Oh, great, great. Glad to hear that. And yeah, I don't really know, like John, like sent me like a video the other day from San Diego. There were like people like into the street protesting about that stuff. Yesterday I was
Yeah,
talking with Fish about it, and like it doesn't really look like a smart thing to do, right? Because you can pass it through, and like the virus can spread like super fast, and like it's
yeah,
pretty
and just like anything, I think there's a smart way if that's how you feel. Everyone's allowed the right to do what they feel. There's just a smart way to do it, I
true,
think. And
true,
and
true.
that just really kind of is bad when just people can't be responsible because it's bigger than us. It's not just about how it affects close to you. It's like you said, it can just spread quickly, and that's why and I hate to say it, it's kind of just they're having these we have a stay at home order, so you're not allowed to go resident to resident,
Okay,
um, and you'll get a fine apparently, but it's kind of just like just abide by that. We only have to, and the quicker we kind of follow the rules, I think the quicker this can be over, or we can be moving
exactly,
on,
exactly.
and stuff like that. Just kind of I know people have their right, but then it kind of extends this whole thing, which puts a stress on everybody, really.
Exactly. Like it happened here in Milan, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we just totally underestimate the thing because we thought it was like just like a normal flu. And then like in one weekend, like I would say that like maybe one third of the population here in Milan and the other
Oh
closer
yeah.
city could get infected, and like the numbers were like super crazy for a month. And right now, like the government said like things are might be changing the 4th of May, which is going to be like if you count the whole days together, they're like almost 2 months of like quarantine and
Yeah.
all that. So,
Yeah, you guys got it pretty bad there. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. And
And
so,
and
like,
I think that happened with like I don't know if I have my facts right. Didn't that happen with like the Spanish flu where it was like it was one thing and then it kind of morphed into the Spanish flu or something like that. I can't remember if that's right or something in our history was like that. So it's like we have to take all these precautions, and it's kind of
exactly.
and it's really hard for us also. I was reading this thing about exponential growth and how humans have a tough time visualizing what that means and how quickly something can happen and just spread and all that kind of stuff. So
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it takes like a month. Like the very first time that I heard about it was like mid-December, and like in the news, but they were saying about it like it's in China, so we were like, whatever, it will never come
yeah,
here. And then like in at least like less than 2 months, like it blocked the whole world.
yeah.
So it's
It's because I
crazy.
mean, and nowadays, I mean, we're all so global. You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's not so much you're stuck in your area. It's like we're everybody's traveling. It's kind of cheap to travel. You know, it's like you can go anywhere, and so it can spread very fast. You know.
And so, like, what about your job? Like, what you're doing actually for living, and like, if you're able to, are you able to work actually, or?
I do a bunch of, well, I do a couple different things. I'm a photographer. I shoot kind of product photography for a couple of local places, and then I also some commercial work too. I also do like graphic design work, logos, and then I for the past 6 months was doing like UX UI work, like kind of developing an app with a company here. Um, I am seized on all work at this point. I got actually an email, like it was about 2 weeks ago was my last one, and everything's just pretty much on hold till, this is all over. And it's kind of a bummer for me because I get paid half up front and then kind of half when I finish
Oh, okay,
jobs.
okay, okay, okay.
Well, I'm half through all of my jobs right now, so I just have to wait,
Damn.
to finish up and then get paid or whatever. So yeah, been interesting, been pretty interesting. I'm lucky I live here. It's cheap, so
Hmm.
I've been able to stay afloat and be fine for right now, but it's getting to that point though, where
True, true, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We were talking yesterday with the fish, and like also the other days with the other like bladers who are like filmmakers or photographers and stuff like that. Like for us who are doing this type of job, it's a kind of a pain in the ass because like
yeah.
all the jobs are like going to be postponed, or the payments. I've received like 2 weeks ago an email from a
Is that is
client.
that what is that what you do? You
Yeah,
photographer? Oh,
I'm a filmmaker.
filmmaker. Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, so that means the same boat. And I hate to say it, even though it's crucial what we do, it's like it's kind of extra in a sense. It's like they're like, oh well, we gotta survive right now, so that's all on hold.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And like, how long have you been photographing? Because like I've watched your website before, like before doing this, and your picture are pretty cool. And I was like wanting to ask you, like, when did you start taking picture and like,
I started kind of taking photos when skating, when kind of it was on a decline, and it was like we all wanted to go out and film, and then friends that were filmers were just moving on to other things or whatever. And then so I just kind of got a camera, and it was mainly to film. And this was maybe, oh man, 2009 or 10 maybe, something around there, maybe a little bit before that. And yeah, got the camera just to film, and then I started taking photos with it, and then kind of just started doing my own thing. And what you saw on my website, that's kind of just personal stuff that I like to shoot. And that's kind of mainly what I like to shoot. I'll
mm-hmm.
shoot skating and stuff, but yeah, I mainly just kind of like to it's like my little kind of escape and just, yeah, creativity kind of thing.
And
um
like, are you shooting like on film or like with digital cameras?
I shoot with a little point and shoot thing that I like. I have another camera for obviously like commercial work and stuff, but yeah, I have a kind of a point and shoot that I use just because having the camera on you and like how big it is has been the biggest part for me. I feel like is just having it on me when I see things, and yeah, so that's why I kind of go with that. But a lot of that
Great.
stuff, yeah, just point and shoot.
Great, great, man. I do have like I bought like one day a year ago from my wife the Yashica T3. I don't know if you ever heard about this camera.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like I never like really see the differences like because before that I never like really shoot on film. But then like when we developed the film, which was like the Kodak Portra 400 or something like that, man,
yeah.
the quality of the images were like something
They
else. Like
just have something else to them,
true.
They just do it. Just especially depending on what you're trying to shoot. I wish I was it's just like kind of expensive, and I'm kind of a
True.
little bit. I just fire off a lot of stuff and I experiment a lot. So I mean, I'm kind of actually been thinking about now that I have a little bit more of like a vision of what I want to shoot, transitioning into then when I have these projects in mind to then just shoot it with film,
Hmm.
and kind of experiment with the digital, and then maybe try to translate with like the final product with film, maybe just because you can't. I mean, you just don't get anything like that, with the digital. So
True, true. Oh, you do have like a shout out here from Luis. He says, Wise, you are a dope rider, sick style, hugs from Puerto Rico, Blader Gang.
Oh man, I'm giving you a big virtual hug right now, brother. Cheers,
Great.
man.
And like, who
Yeah.
are like your? Of course, I do believe that you have like some photographers that you get like inspiration from, and who they are.
Right now, biggest ones, Jack Davison. He's from the UK, and then Lydia Roberts, and then a friend of mine who's pretty big inspiration is James Parker. Yeah, those three kind of. Jack Davison's kind of the main one. He shoots a lot of portrait work, and I'm sure you've seen tons of his stuff before. But he shoots kind of with a point and shoot, and he shoots people like through he just takes like cardboard, and he'll just shoot someone through cardboard, and just through like a glass, like a wine glass. He'll shoot someone through that, and he just keeps it extremely simple, natural light, and I just like the simplicity of it and how he creates something that every time you see a photo of his, you know it's his, and it just
Okay.
has a feeling to it just instantly. It's just dramatic and a lot of black and white. Yeah, he's just kind of, that's like my favorite thing right now is his work's very inspiring.
Awesome. Like one day, randomly, I was able to shoot to make a video. To make, I wouldn't say like a video because I was there filming something else, but like all of a sudden, I ended up work with I don't know if you know this photographer, Albert Watson.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like the one who did like this the famous portrait of Steve Jobs, the black and white with his classical suit and
Yeah,
Tupac Shakur and stuff like that. And like
yeah.
just like you were saying, like those photographers are like really like a master, like really like they really know how the light works, and they like see that guy work.
You
It was
just feel it. It's just I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you just like you see their photo and it's just like it's it kind of like grabs you for a second, you know. And
true.
it's and sometimes it's not even anything really out of the ordinary. It's just somehow the combination of what they're doing and like the feeling that they catch with someone in a pose. And Jack Davison talks about that, about how he doesn't want anyone to pose ever. He's just kind of shooting, and it's pretty amazing when that he gets what he gets out of it, you know.
Oh, man, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool. And
yeah.
so with that being said, like I'm Italian, so I don't really know anything about Detroit besides Eminem, of course, the 8 Mile or whatever. But like from what we know here in Italy, there's like this image that probably is wrong. That like Detroit is like kind of dangerous place. Is that true or not?
um Very deep answer, but I would just say off the top, not so much. Yes, before, probably when you were hearing things about Detroit. Yeah, I mean, no one was in the city. There's no money here, no jobs, a lot of corruption, police corruption. I mean, now kind of depends just where you're at, you know. You just gotta, and we're block to block here. We don't have a lot of gangs necessarily, like large groups of gangs. Are just very block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. So even where I live is my couple of blocks are pretty nice, but then if you cross over the street right over here by me, it's like, probably don't go there after dark, and like, you know what I mean? It just kind of varies. But now I mean, we have so much money now in the city over the last 3 years. It's a completely different place. I actually moved out west and kind of with an ex-girlfriend, we just kind of traveled around out west for probably about 4 months or so. And when I came back, I mean, people were talking about things going on here, and I had no idea. And I've lived here for a long time, and it's just changing, and there's so many new things here. I just hope that it's all been in our like downtown area, in our kind of college area. So I'm hoping that it spreads to, other neighborhoods around here, because it's
Okay.
very easy for people to talk about Detroit in one way when there's this place is huge. I mean, it's unbelievably big, and there's whole areas of the city that kind of people might not even think about when they think about Detroit. A lot of lower class neighborhoods, and I just hope that some of this attention to the city now starts picking up, and then we'll say a couple of years, 5 years from now, that they can benefit from it as well. That's kind of my hope.
Just like what happened to New York City within like the neighbor has like Brooklyn or Bushwick or Williamsburg, that maybe back in the day they were like kind of dangerous places, but right now just because the city spreads and all that, like they're
Yep.
like pretty cool and chill places to go hang and to go live, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's happening a lot here, and it's yeah, big time here.
And like there's also like here in Italy, we do have this show called Hardcore Pound. I don't know if you ever heard about this one. And like, is it like here? It's like a big thing. Like everybody talk about it. Like, especially 2 years ago, like it was the thing. Like all the people here were like was talking about it, and like they were like super fan of the show. Is it a thing also in Detroit or not?
It was for a little bit, yeah, yeah. I actually used to live like decently close to where the place was.
No way.
Yeah, it was after the show went on. It's funny you brought that up. We were cruising around before this happened, looking for spots, and we ended up driving by the building. It's like for lease right now, but oh yeah, so funny. And then also we have a hockey player here named Darren McCarty, and he kind of had a bout with like drugs and alcohol or whatever, but they ended up hiring him, and he was on the show working at the pawn shop. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, still talking about Detroit, like earlier I was watching some stuff to get some inspiration to settle a couple of questions to asking you. And like I just realized that like you guys had like two IMYTAs, the Motor City Shakedown, like several, like probably 10 Bitter Cold Showdown, right? And like how was like how like which are your feelings about like growing up in a city within like all of this history of competitions?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, we have one of the best communities. We have so many things, we have so many contests at Modern, we have a bowl contest there. We have a street contest here. It's always been like that. And there's always been passionate people here doing things, and, oh, it's spoiled, I mean, I've been absolutely spoiled, especially with the skate parks we have here too. I mean, I don't think many people think about it, but yeah, a lot of history here, and
True.
with having that is easy to keep involved with skating, let's say, because we have so many things going on here. It's easy to kind of keep that flame alive, I guess, or keep skating and keep wanting to do things, and it's all started from, those IMYTAs, and it just kept going, and somebody took over and did something. And yeah, we've always had a solid crew here. It's been awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you were saying, the scene in Detroit looks pretty strong and solid and like super productive, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we all kind of skate together often, I mean, everybody kind of is in touch with each other, and yeah, it's great, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it here.
And like I remember the skate park of the Motor City Shakedown. Was that the Airborne, right?
Shakedown, yeah, yep.
Was it in Detroit or was like kind of outside?
Airborne's just right outside of Detroit. It's
closed right now, right? They closed it.
Yeah, closed. Yeah,
unfortunately.
And then we actually just had a long-time skate park here, the family was very blader friendly. Shout out to the Landslide Skate Park, but they just the family that owned it, that was very into rollerblading, they sold it, and then these BMXers took over, and then they actually just had to close their doors because of the virus here. So they said
okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, heavy history here, man. A lot of it.
Were you there at those two IMYTAs?
I went. No, I didn't go to any of those. No, I actually. We'll get this out there. I lived in a suburb from here till I was probably about like 17, 18. And I really didn't, I skated, but I was so far north, and I didn't know that there was a scene. I was full on into skating. I didn't pick up a magazine till I was like 17.
Oh, wow.
Like I didn't really know like about, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I'm as old as, let's say, Don, and I would look up to like Brian Shima instead of kind of like the early, like Arlo and stuff, even though I'm the same age, and that should have been kind of who I grew up with. I didn't really catch on to the whole scene of skating. We had a small skate park that was at a church, so I could go skate there, and I never really had to go to Airborne or anything, so I really didn't know there wasn't a skate shop or any magazines there. It was just a park, so yeah, that's kind of funny fact about me, I guess, that not a lot of people know.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And right now, just because you mentioned Dom and the other guys, like you're skating with Vibralux, which is like one of the coolest and the hottest brand in the industry. Like, how does it feel to skate for them?
Oh man, are you kidding? Oh man, unbelievable. That was a dream come true. AJ just asked me to go to Spain, and that was it, man. I just said, "Yep, let's go. Get me out of here, man." Oh yeah, dream come true, man. I mean, I grew up watching all those guys, and especially even Don too, and yeah, so to be a part of that, and be homies now and joke around and everything is great. unbelievable.
Great, awesome. So you're skating frequently with Dom right now?
Not so much. Once a week, usually we have a Wednesday night skate during the winter at Modern. It's like a blade night, and so I'll skate with him there. And but not in a little while, man. He's got the family thing going on. So, and Lou just kind of started school, so it's getting busy over there.
Getting busy.
Yeah, but we try to get out once a week at least.
Awesome. And like I always wanted to ask you, to ask somebody from Detroit, what happened to the Raza brothers or to Brian Murphy?
Oh, Brian's still around. He actually just went to a wedding with him pretty recently. Brian's still around. Steve moved to Portland, actually. He's been skating out in Portland with that crew, and he moved out there. He's got a job out there. So, and then Dustin is still up north in Algonac, which is like, I'm going to say it's like an hour and a half north of here, maybe a little bit more. And he had an injury, and I think that it kind of never came around. I mean, he came around and skated and stuff, but it's kind of hard, I think, when you're that far north. There's not like a lot of people around, you know. Yeah.
True. And so, like, are you working on something new, like some new VOD or something like that?
Yeah, I got a couple things that I'm gonna do this summer. One of them is with a friend of mine. He shoots photos of me, and he's gonna get into the filmmaking kind of thing. And he has some friends that are into that, and we're gonna try to make some shorts, like some short kind of little films with skating kind of at night in the city here. Yeah, we got some rough ideas we're going to try to experiment with. Just do something a little different, a little more with like our photography and kind of filmmaking eyes instead of just about like skating tricks or whatever, you know. We just want to make some cool things and use kind of all of our skills and mash it up into one thing. So actually kind of really excited to work on something like that, you know, just a little bit different than a normal go out, do a trick or whatever, you know.
True. And like talking about photography, like do you have like any favorite photographers from the blading world?
Yeah, Adam Cola. I love Adam Cola. Yeah, Adam's one of my favorite ones. Who else? Christian's been killing it. I love all Christian's work. It's been great with them. Yeah, but Adam's probably my favorite one, I'd have to say.
Great. And just because you mentioned earlier with AJ and your trip in Spain, like, have you ever like that was your first time in Europe, or like did you like came here in Europe?
I went to Sweden in 2012 maybe, or maybe it was after that. I went to Sweden. Yeah, I went. I don't know if you know Zeb.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course. That's my man.
He was like skating for Shima at the time when SSM was around, and he just their skate park there was the way that their government works. You know, they get money for like their skate park to, you know, fly people out and do contests and things. And yeah, he just hit us up and was like, "Does anybody want to come out?" And yeah, so I went out there and hung out with him for a couple weeks. And but other than that, that was my only time over in Europe before that.
So next time you gotta come here in Italy, huh?
Oh, I'm coming, man. All I can think about, and then all this happened, you know. I was just like big time thinking about what I was gonna do, and then all this went down, and then the plane tickets were cheap, and I was like, I want to buy them all right now, you know. But then it got worse, you know.
Yeah, but like as soon as like all these things will be done, I do believe like all of us we are like looking forward to travel all over the world, just like you were saying, because.
And especially for us, it's kind of a bummer because, you know, we have the winter here, and it's like, this is like our nice time to be out, you know, and
damn true.
Sit inside, and we only got like 3 months of this, you know.
Oh, damn, exactly. Yeah. So, Brian, with that being said, I do really would like to thank you for the time you gave me for doing this chat. I do really appreciate it, and
hell yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to see you soon. Just like I was saying, if you ever want to come here in Italy, in Milan, just let me know. I'm here.
You got it, man. Yeah. Dude, thank you for doing this. All the chats that I've listened to and watched have been great, man. Keep doing your thing. This is I think I don't ever have a chance for, you know, anyone to kind of hear me just talk as a person other than if I see you at a skate event, you know. And it's kind of reading my words in a magazine is one thing, and it's just good to do this, man, to just
thank you very much. It's like it's an honor to talk with you and like you participating to that thing. So thank you so much, Brian, for your time, and I'm looking forward to see you soon. Okay, boss?
Hell yeah, brother. Be safe.
Safe.
All right,
Bye.
see you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.